Hi guys, it's Innocent from Drillabytes, and I want to welcome you to our second Numpy video tutorial. In this tutorial we will continue from where we stopped the last time, and I'll just open up my Jupyter notebook to just refresh your memory on what we did in our last tutorial. And I'm simply going to click on cell, go to all outputs, and just clear everything I have there. So in our last tutorial we went over how to install Numpy package using conda or pip, if you remember, and of course a link is in the description for you to really watch the last tutorial and refresh your memory. And then we talked about how to import Numpy on the first line, and of course shift and enter will run this first cell. And in the second cell we talked about creating a Numpy array, which you can see right here. This is the output. And on the third line we talk about how to check the dimension of the array. So this is two-dimensional array, and of course you can check the elements in each dimension by doing a1.shape. Okay, if you do this, you know this is a 2 by 2 matrix, and the first two just shows you that this is a two-dimensional array. So we also use the print statement to print out our array. You can notice that in the first one the output says array, but in the second one you can see the array is left out and you just have the print statement. And of course we talk about the transpose, and if you have forgotten about the transpose, this simply means the first row becomes the first column while the second row becomes the second column right there. And then on this cell we of course talked about indexing and how you can select elements in the array. And here we are creating a new array A2, and then we are performing some operations on this array. And remember, we said you can do multiplication, you can do subtraction, and so on. So that's that for our last tutorial. In this tutorial I want to look at some other ways in which you can create a Numpy array, and specifically we'll be looking at the arange method for creating array, the Lin Space method. We'll also be looking at zeros and ones. We'll be looking at, and then we'll also be looking at the random method for creating random arrays, and this is very useful. At the end of this tutorial you will be designing a dice game, and I will design a dice game, or I will just show you exactly one of the use cases I can think of for the random int, and you can just play with this and come up with a lot of programs that this will be beneficial to you. So let's get right into the meat of today's tutorial. So the first thing I want to show you is np.arange. okay, and np.arange is 1R, take note, and then you can give it the number of elements you want to have in your array. So if I do np.arange and I say 5, it just gives me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you need to understand that this arange also works like your range in Python. Okay, so your range in Python, arange works the same way, okay, or in a similar way. So if I want to create an array that will start from 1 and stop at 10, I need to say 11, and then one more value I can give it is step. Okay, step means increment, so increase the value by 2. If I do this now, shift enter, you see I have 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Okay, so for each of these elements I'm increasing the value by 2, and I have 5 values right here. If I do 0, okay, sorry, Ctrl Z, and if I do 0, hit enter, then I have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this of course is one dimension array, and we can easily check the dimension by doing .ndim, and you can see it's a one-dimensional array. But if I want to change this, I can simply use the reshape method to change the dimension. So I'll do a 2 by 3 dimensional array, hit enter, and you can see I've been able to change that. The values that came out of this, I've been able to change it to a 2 by 3. And just to be sure that it's a 2-dimensional array, you can do your ndim once again, and you see you have a 2-dimensional array. Now what I'm doing right here in this cell is called chaining. So I'm chaining different methods together, and of course Python allows you to chain different methods together. So I'm just simply going to delete this right here, okay, hit enter once again so you can see the actual value. Now the next method I want to show you for creating a numpy array is a method called Lin Space. Okay, so if I type np.linspace like this, okay, the next thing you want to do is impute the number of arrays you want. So if I say 5 for example and I hit enter, I'm having an error. Okay, Lin Space missing one required positional argument. Alright, so having a mistake. I'm supposed to do Lin Space, so one positional argument first, and then you have 5 for instance. So Lin Space will generate by default 50 values, okay, but it needs, you can reduce the number of values you get from Lin Space by saying, okay, I want from 1 to 5, right, but I want just 10 values like this. So if I hit enter, you see right now I have 10 values, okay. And let us check the dimension of the Lin Space. So n dimension, hit enter, and you see this is a one-dimensional array. And of course, you know I have 10 values. I can say, okay, give me 12 values, right? And I have 12 values right there. So 12 values, what can I do with 12 values? I can reshape it, okay, I can reshape it, and I'll just say 3 by 4. So you know 3 by 4 is possible to reshape. So if I hit enter, you see I've reshaped this. And now if I check the number of dimension or ndim, I get 2-dimensional array, okay. So that is the Lin Space method for creating array in Numpy. The next method we should look at is the zeros and the ones. So of course zeros and ones are very useful in matrix. So 0 matrix and 1 matrix, okay. So let's quickly just create zeros. So if I have zeros right here, okay, and I just say 5 for instance, hit enter, you see it gives me 5 zeros, okay. Now I can create a 2 by 3 all filled with zeros. Sorry, this has to be inside, right? This has to be a tuple, okay. So you have to give it a tuple, hit enter, and you see that it's a 2 by 3, so 2 rows and 3 columns right there, okay. So you can also do this with 1. So let's say I want to create a 3 by 3, hit enter, so you have this right here, okay. Now you can also do this with 1 for instance, and I'm just going to show you on the next cell. np.ones once, and of course you can just do 4, hit enter, and you get 1 1 1 1 in 4 places. Now if you want to create a multi-dimensional array, or a 2-dimension, for instance 2 by 3, once again hit enter, or you can just do 3 by 3 like so and hit enter, and you have this. So let's just quickly recap. We use the arange method to create an array, and we also use this method, the Lin Space, okay, to create an array. And then we talked about the reshape, where you can change the shape of this array you're creating, and then dim is just to check the number of dimension of the array. And then we've talked about the zeros and then the ones. And the very last method I'm going to be covering in this particular video is the random, okay, the random method. And under the random method we have 3 different ways, or I'm going to cover 3 different ways of creating random arrays in Numpy, okay. So np.random, right? And then the first method we are going to look at is, sorry, not brackets, so you have to change the rand. So the first is rand, and if you just say rand and you put 5, for instance, right, if you hit enter, it's just going to create a 1-dimensional array of 5 elements, all within 0 range. So you can see 0 point, 0 point, and so on and so forth. These numbers are generated randomly. If you want to do a 2 by 3, for instance, random, all you need to do is say 2, 3. You don't need to make it a tuple in this case, okay. So, and of course you see everything will tend towards 0, okay, everything will tend towards 0. And then the next method I want to show you is still under the random, but it's called the rand n, okay. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. Random dot, of course, you see we have the rand n, okay, and this rand n works like the rand itself, but this time you are going to see the difference when I say 5, for instance, okay. I'm just going to do that, shift enter. When I say 5, you see I get values that tends towards 0 and 1, okay, 0 and 1. And of course if you want to create a multi-dimensional array, all you need to do is say 2, 3 or 3, 3, okay. So, and if you say 2, 3, it's going to include 2, okay. It's going to include the second value less than 1, okay. So 3 will not be included, but it will include 2, okay. So that is that for rand n. And then finally, before we design our dice game, we'll just look at np.random once again, and then we want to look at the rand int, okay. So the rand int will give you integers, obviously, and you can create rand int the same way by saying, of course, a multi-dimensional array, and you see rand int and you have 2, 3 gives me 2, okay, meaning I want to start from 2 and stop at 1 less than 3, okay. So if I want for example start with 1 and I want to end with 6, I have to say 7, okay. So each time I hit enter, it's going to generate this for me. And then if I can give it one more value, okay, for example 3, and you see it creates an array of 3 elements, okay. So what if I want to create a multi-dimensional array? I can create a multi-dimensional array by just doing 2 by 3 right here, and you see that it generates a 2 by 3 matrix, and it starts from 1 up to 6. You can never see 7 in this particular array. So now that you know about the random method, let us design a dice game quickly so you can see exactly how to design a dice game using the random method in Numpy. So in the next tutorial, guys, I'm going to design this game. Thank you for watching this one, and the link to the next tutorial will be in the description and also above this video. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, guys.